The headlines: massive fire burns down Samsung headquarters in Abuja. Hoodlums attack lawyer, judicial officers in Gombe, and NBA reacts. Ilobu community cry for help over decaying infrastructure. And from the international scene, the South Africa recalls diplomats from Israel over Gaza war. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. A massive fire outbreak in Wuse 2, Abuja, has destroyed buildings and goods worth billions of naira in a Monday evening incident. The incident reportedly started from a welding outfit located close to the story building housing the Samsung headquarters at Banex Junction. The fire service, in response to the distress call, arrived to the scene only to be disrupted by onlookers, leading to a police intervention before rescue operations began. According to the fire service, the delay caused the fire to intensify and spread throughout the building. However, efforts were made to contain the blaze from spreading to nearby structures and the filling station in the area. It took the firefighters over 6 hours to extinguish the flames, and both the Federal Fire Service and FCT Fire Service maintained one station each on standby until daybreak.
They are just coming, just now, after how many, everything has already burnt off. They are just coming. Look at them. They are just coming. See? And people are angry. People are angry. They are running. People don't pursue them. People don't pursue them. No need of coming. No need. If you know how many people that lost their job today.
Now joining us and now via Zoom, we have Assistant Controller, Federal Fire Service, Abraham Paul. Thank you for joining us, Abraham. Now briefly take us through the events of last night at Banex Junction and what you have learned so far.
Happened yesterday up until this morning at Banex Junction, that's the Samsung showroom in Wuse 2. From indication, it's suggestive of the fact that the fire incident started at 19:00 hours, that's about 7 p.m. Nigerian time. And but we got the distress call about 7:30. We immediately deployed our men from the Wuse station, which is in Zone 3. So by 7:38, they were in the vicinity. But unfortunately, hoodlums and miscreants, under the guise of late coming, would not allow us to carry out our function. What they intended actually was to go in there and maybe loot some of those electronics and all of that. We had to now call off the Civil Defense Corps and then the Nigerian police to give us backup. We had very strong information that if we go in there, they were going to attack us. So we needed that backup. Once we had the backup, we swung into action. Unfortunately, it was already a full-blown inferno, but we couldn't have risk our machine to hoodlums and miscreants. So we needed to make sure that safety was first for us, the priority, as always. And so once we moved in, we tried to confine the fire to a particular building where it started from. The essence is that just beside the Samsung showroom, the sharing fence with Eternal Oil, that's a filling station, and then on the other side is an incomplete building. Behind them is a hotel, 3-star hotel as the case may be. We needed to make sure we confined the fire to, that space, and that we did. Further information we now got was that within the building was seated 8,000 liters of diesel, which we also had to ensure that did not explode. So it was a lot of work. We started at about 7:50 and up until 3 a.m. this morning before we were able to take out all the embers and
Exactly,
restore
Abraham.
the
You
building.
know, talking about the hours that it took for you to contain this fire, apart from the fact that you mentioned that you needed to get at least more support, but situations like this usually happen in the country, and it's not as quick, you know, for the firefighters to fight this challenge within or get rid of this particular situation. So what took you about 6 hours in order to contain this fire?
My sister, it was a full-blown inferno. Everything in that complex is fuel, waiting to burn. Everything, from piece of papers to design to nylon to electronics to gadgets to wires to refrigerators to gas, just name it. The whole building was laden with fuel, you know, and so extinguishment wasn't going to come easy. I'll tell you on good authority, I was there in person. I arrived there about 8:40 and I was there up until 3 a.m. You know, as long as I became the incident commander, considering that I became the most senior fire officer on ground. So I was coordinating both the FCT fire service and the federal fire service. We had tons of machines coming in. We had machines coming from Ute, coming from the FCT. Two of the machines came. We had machines coming from Gariki. We had like 4 water tenders, ensuring that we get adequate water to continue confining. And you know, the essence is we are trying to also make sure that it doesn't escalate. So we have to confine it. And remember, I told you that we have 8,000 liters, over 8,000 liters of diesel in a tank waiting to ignite. So we have to, while we are cooling down and ensuring that that is tempered, it doesn't get hot, it doesn't explode, we are also making sure that the fire does not go into. And we're also making sure we are also keeping the embers in the original building down. So everything in that building, like I said,
but
just waiting to
quickly,
explode,
how can we, take care of this situation? How can we make sure situations like this never happen again? Because there is always should I say, not certainty of fire outbreak, happening in other businesses, and business owners tend to miss out on a lot of money there. So how can the government and we as a people, help you in bettering your service?
Well, thank you for that question. This morning at about 8:00 hour, the Controller General, Engineer Jaji Abdugani Olola, was on site. He wanted to see the incident himself, considering the volume of economic hardship that they will put on Nigerians, on those working, and of course on the enterprise. And he stated it very clearly, which I'm going to reiterate. So, in simple terms, this is Engineer Jaji's words. Fire prevention is always cheaper, it's always easier, and it's than firefighting. So, at every instance, we're working to ensure that we have minimal fire incidents. And where they happen, we have to now do our best to ensure that this is fulfilled. But for the question that you have asked, simply put, first aid firefighting, and then the training for on-hand responders cannot be overemphasized. The Honorable Minister, Dr. Olubumi, has said it very clearly. If we have public buildings and we have security men within that building, they should be trained, and we are available to train them so that they can be first responders. So rather than everybody running helter-skelter, some people should be man enough to say, where is the seat of fire? Go and attack it. But if we are all running helter-skelter, because we don't have adequate training, because we don't have understanding of what to do when fire happens, this story will keep retelling it. So simply put, if I have to summarize,
thank you so much for your time, Abraham Paul, Assistant Controller, the Federal Service, Fire Service. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, moving on to more stories now. The Lagos State Magistrate Court in Yaba on Monday sent back to custody a 37-year-old auxiliary nurse arrested by the police in connection with the controversial death of Afrobeat star Mohbad. The nurse, it was alleged, gave the late singer some injections that resulted in his death. And in the same vein, the magistrate Adeola Olatombuso ordered the continued detention of Ayobani Sadiq, a friend to Mohbad, being held as a suspect in the case. The magistrate had granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira to each of Mohbad's ex-boss Naira Marley and a Lagos socialite Sam Larry, who were also implicated in Mohbad's death and taken into custody by the police on October 6. The Nigerian Bar Association has petitioned the Commissioner of Police in Gombe State to investigate a mob attack on two of its members. An upper area court judge, a lawyer, and a judicial staff were attacked while on official duty, otherwise to adjudicate a disputed land property in Balanaga local government area of the state. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Some may consider this a job hazard, but law is usually considered a safe profession by all standards. For Barrister Usman Yahya, the attack on his life in connection with his everyday job has put him in a critical situation. A judge at Upper Area Court 3, Ayuba Bubadalas, and a judicial officer were also at the receiving end of a mob attack in Balanga local government area of Gombe State. The location court proceeding, also known as Locus in Co., was attending to legal matter when hoodlums in connection with the case violently attacked them. Barrister Usman Yahya, who is now recovering from his injuries, is demanding justice from the system.
When we reached the farmland, the defendants and their civilians attack us with leather weapons such as sticks. They attack us without any explanation. From then, we escaped from them, and my client, they took me to Cottage Hospital, Digiri, when I received the first aid treatment.
The Nigerian Bar Association, Gombe State branch, in a swift reaction, has written the Commissioner of Police to investigate the matter.
So, but if people have the audacity to attack the court, then, it might be beyond the powers or the capacity or capability of the division or the outpost within the vicinity of the scene of crime. Simply, that was why we petitioned the Commissioner of Police. If anything could be done from the CID, they have more manpower, vehicles, armed personnel, and more trained personnel that would, swing to action to be able to investigate the matter. If there be need to arrest whoever is involved.
Usman, who is now recuperating, has voiced concern over an attempt on his life and is reeling from last Saturday's incident, which he considered as a threat to the administration of justice in the country. But the lawyer, although shaken by the event, is unmoved by the development.
If they do not take the immediately action, this kind of acts will occur to another persons. So for the interest of masses, they ought to take an immediate action on that issue.
The NBA has condemned the assault on its members while calling on Nigerians to respect the rule of law and preserve the integrity and dignity of the judiciary. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The infrastructure deficit in Nigeria is multiplying as more communities decry the effects of dilapidated or non-existent infrastructure, making life socio-economically difficult for residents. In Ilobu town of Osun State, the collapse of two bridges means the community has been cut off from accessing basic amenities like schools and farms. Hamid Oyegbade files the report.
Ilobu is one of the big towns in Osun State and headquarters of the old Irepodun local government. This town has endured years of neglect from the government with its decaying infrastructure. The recent collapse of two bridges connecting the town to farmlands and basic amenities such as schools and hospitals means life for residents in the area has been significantly disrupted. Without the bridge, there's not much the people can do.
Since the bridge has sunk, many students are not finding it easy to come to school. The school attendance is very low nowadays.
Every first term, the population of the school increased more. But now that the bridge has collapsed, many parents are avoiding their students not to come to our school again through this bridge that has collapsed.
It has actually deprived our younger ones the right access to their school environments. And this has actually affected them to reduce the number of students to be coming to school for each terms of the session.
And it has become a very serious problem since last year that the bridge collapsed totally. And we have been making appeals. We have been praying to government at different levels, different agencies to come to our aid so that the situation will not continue like this.
An appeal for urgent intervention by government has become necessary as socio-economic activities continue to slow down. For residents, the time for infrastructure development has come.
What actually complicated it, you see the second bridge, is that used to be like the alternative, but now, in fact, no vehicle can cross to this side again. So we appreciate government quick intervention before we start losing lives, please.
New roads and bridges have become a top priority for Ilobu, and a timely intervention from government will breathe life back into this town and its people as they keep hope alive for a quick turnaround. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Oshogbo.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, no fish for sale as traders go on strike in Lagos. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
Are you interested in the latest news and developments in Nigerian politics, policy, governance, and other critical national issues? Look no further than Daily Politics on Trust TV. Our panel of experts and key people in government provide in-depth analysis and commentary on the biggest stories in Nigerian politics.
And 33.3 million Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty.
It's a much calmer Buhari than the Buhari who was in the khaki uniform.
Naira to Naira exchange rate is higher anywhere in the world. The Naira is higher than dollar exchange rate. So you want to...
Since central bank governor you're doing, you must do it fast.
Number of casualties we have had, we shouldn't have had. Security, as far as Nigeria is concerned, we have wronged.
From the inner workings of government to the latest on legislation, rule of law, implementation, and democracy, we have you covered. Don't miss out on the latest political news and discussion. Tune in to Daily Politics, weekdays on Trust TV, your source for reliable and unbiased coverage of Nigerian politics.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you massive fire burns down Samsung headquarters in Abuja. And hoodlums attack lawyer, judicial officers in Gombe, NBA reacts. Cooking gas prices have spiked again in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, unsettling residents as they decry the rising cost of living in Nigeria. The ever-changing prices of foods, goods and services have become emblematic of Nigeria's current economic downturn since the removal of fuel subsidy, with residents call on the federal government to mitigate the effects. Trust TV's Beatrice Gurutsi has a situation report.
Unlike other states where scarcity is driving gas prices up, in Maiduguri, the availability of the product is marked by a sharp decline in patronage due to price hike. The steady increase in the price of cooking gas has forced many households to search for alternatives. For a 12 kg cylinder, the price is now 14,000 naira, and 28,000 naira for 24 kg.
They always change the price. Last month is different. This month is always different. So next month we don't know what we are going to meet again. We just pray that God should be providing for us. Should have enough money to refill our gas. That's all. Yeah. And I'm supposed to buy 6 kg, but due to the changes, I just feel like let me just go for what I have on my pocket.
Everything has changed. Everything is a bit expensive nowadays, so it's not affordable for us to be buying the gas at that price. It's costing us cheap. I know we have a lot of things to do than to be buying gas at that price. It will be a lot much easier if the price has come down a little.
Da za a gyara mana gas ɗin na dan sauwaje mana shi ya zama ko 200 ko 300 haka. Kada ya wuce 500 dai.
The price should reduce to at least 200 or 300 naira. Let it not be over 500 naira so that a poor man can afford it, because you can even see that the current price, there are no customers. Some gas stations attribute the price hike to importation cost and the delay in getting the product.
Dalilin hanya ne ba kyau ta Enugu, saboda in sun je direbobin duk suna shan wahala a hanya.
The roads where we get the products are not good. Drivers suffer a lot bringing it here. They spent 2 weeks on the road instead of 1 week. Nigerians are grappling with rising cost of living as inflation reaches an all-time high with a sharp increase in price of goods and services. Bejo Security, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Amidst the mounting food inflation gripping the nation, the fish vendors in the Agege area of Lagos State have initiated an indefinite strike. The fish sellers who have halted the sale of fish to local residents are appealing to the Nigerian government to take urgent measures to reduce the cost of fish. Victoria Tokolo was present at the market on Monday to provide us with this unfolding situation. Her report as presented from our studio.
Agege Main Market, a bustling hub for perishable goods, has witnessed a noticeable decline in activity as fish sellers have initiated an indefinite strike, coupled with dwindling consumer patronage. Today, the fish sellers took to the streets, marching through the market and intercepting anyone attempting to vend fish to customers. They collected fish scales and gathered at the main market secretariat for a collective assembly. Iyaoja of Agege, Monsurat Ajayi, says that the strike will persist until the government addresses their demand to lower fish prices in the cold storage facilities. Escalating prices have left both common man and the fish sellers grappling with repercussions of the price surge.
That's the way no get money. Now they eat pala. No, we no fit eat pala again. 40,000 for 10 kilo. They won't kill us. One pala. 10,000, 7,000 we dey sell am. Money no go complete still. So wetin you want us to do? Gbese don kunle.
Broker rate of 35,000, 35,000, 38,000, but now it's 58,000 naira. Latest 60,000 naira. 9 months before it's 38,000. Now it's 78,000 naira. So we can't afford it anymore.
But now when we dey buy 6,000, now it's 25,000. This one, and buy it 9,000 before, but now it's 35,000 in 12 pieces of fish inside the bag. So I'm tired. I don't fit do business again. Make Nigeria help us.
The substantial rise in fish prices has not only affected the fish sellers, but has placed a heavy burden on everyday consumers, making it increasingly challenging for them to purchase fish for themselves and their families.
For many years back, you can get fish like 200 or 150, but recently just things change immediately that people cannot afford to buy it. You can get panda 4 now, 4 at the rate of 600.
Now if you no hold 1.5, 2,000, you no go fit buy panda fish. Ejaigu, where they not even near am before. Now na hot cake.
The fish sellers are earnestly appealing to government to take immediate action in reducing fish prices within the cold storage facilities. Furthermore, they are asking for a solution to the issue of fuel prices, as it is a significant factor contributing to the soaring cost of fish within the cold storage facilities.
From the international scene, South Africa announced it is withdrawing all its diplomats from Tel Aviv for consultation over Israel's war on Gaza. Nisaveni also said that the cabinet has instructed the foreign ministry to take necessary measures via diplomacy to deal with the conduct of the Israel ambassador to South Africa, Eliav Belosevkovsky, whose conduct, she said, is becoming very untenable. Belosevkovsky is accused of making disparaging comments against those who raise voices against the attacks on Palestinians. The South Africans have held over a dozen protests since the recent Israel-Palestine conflict started on October 7th. Activists have been calling for the expulsion of the Israeli ambassador from Pretoria and a recall of South Africa diplomats from Tel Aviv. Israel has launched air and ground raids on the Gaza Strip following a cross-border attack by Palestinian resistance group Hamas on October 7th. Israeli bombardments in the Gaza Strip have killed at least 10,022 Palestinians, including 4,104 children and 2,641 women. The Israeli death toll is nearly 1,600 according to official figures. And besides the large number of casualties and massive displacement due to the Israeli siege of the region, basic supplies are also running low for Gaza's 2.3 million residents. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.